And new details tonight on what's missing from the Epstein files, specifically interviews with a woman who claims she was assaulted by both Jeffrey Epstein and President Trump.
This says several major figures are taking responsibility for their relationships with Epstein. NBC's Hallie Jackson has those developments for us now.
The spotlight tonight on what's not in the millions of Epstein files released by the DOJ. Summaries and notes from 3 separate interviews the FBI conducted with a Jeffrey Epstein accuser who also made sex abuse allegations against President Trump in 2019. Materials withheld, according to an NBC News analysis, and information provided by a source familiar with the Epstein investigation.
The evidence is pointing to these documents are missing. It's a survivor who has made serious allegations of the president, and that needs to be investigated.
The Justice Department has said it produced all responsive documents, adding tonight it's reviewing files, and if any were improperly withheld, the department will publish it consistent with the law.
Welcome back, guys. Adam is here. This is absolutely insane. Ghislaine Maxwell, sitting in federal prison serving a massive sentence for her role in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation, just tried to blackmail the President of the United States. And Donald Trump's response tells you everything you need to know about how terrified he really is. Let me walk you through what just happened, because it's the most dramatic development in the Epstein saga yet.
Tonight, newly released videos showing Jeffrey Epstein's only convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, appearing before lawmakers from a Texas prison, refusing to answer questions unless President Trump grants her clemency first.
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Maxwell, who is currently challenging her conviction and 20-year sentence for trafficking minors to Epstein, pleading the Fifth. Her lawyer stating she is prepared to speak fully and honestly if granted clemency by President Trump, adding both President Trump and President Clinton are innocent of any wrongdoing. Ms. Maxwell alone can explain why. President Trump, who was friends with Epstein for more than 2 decades, has not ruled out a pardon for Maxwell. Today, the House Oversight Committee's top Republican warning against it.
She's asked for clemency from the president, so I personally don't think she should be granted any type of immunity or clemency.
Democrats arguing Maxwell is playing Trump.
This was an effort to essentially try to secure her pardon by keeping her mouth shut.
The fallout from the more than 3 million pages of Epstein files released by the Justice Department late last month still growing.
On February 9, 2026, Maxwell appeared for a House Oversight deposition. She's in prison. She's supposed to answer questions about her crimes, about Epstein, about everyone involved. But when the questioning started, she invoked the Fifth Amendment. She refused to answer.
The House Oversight Committee have launched an investigation following reports the Justice Department withheld some Epstein files related to allegations President Trump sexually abused a minor. The New York Times is reporting the FBI memos removed from public view were summaries of interviews about claims made by a woman that she had been sexually and physically assaulted by President Trump decades earlier when she was 13. The woman came forward in 2019 after Epstein's arrest. President Trump has denied wrongdoing in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton scheduled to testify tomorrow and Friday as part of the House Oversight Committee's Epstein investigation. The Clintons' closed-door depositions will be held in New York. They have not been accused of any wrongdoing by survivors of Epstein's abuse.
She stayed completely silent. Then her lawyer dropped a bomb that changed everything. Through her attorney, Maxwell made an offer. She will testify. She will answer every question. She will cooperate fully with Congress. She will tell them everything they want to know. She will even testify that Donald Trump did nothing wrong with Epstein. She'll exonerate him. She'll clear his name. She'll be the credible witness who says Trump was innocent. But there's one condition. Only one. Trump has to pardon her. Trump has to grant her clemency. Trump has to use his presidential power to set her free. Think about that for a moment. A convicted sex trafficker, sitting in prison, just offered to rescue the President of the United States politically in exchange for her freedom. She's saying, I have the information you need. I can make this scandal go away. I can be your get-out-of-jail-free card, but it's going to cost you my get-out-of-jail-free card first. This is extortion. This is a hostage situation. This is literally trying to trade testimony for a pardon. And when word got back to Trump, he absolutely lost his mind. He went on Truth Social and started ranting. He called her evil. He said she betrayed him. He said she was disloyal. He said she was trying to manipulate him and blackmail him. He was furious. He was panicking. He was scared. But here's the thing that everyone needs to understand, that rage is incredibly revealing. Because if Trump truly had nothing to hide, why would he care what Maxwell testifies to? If he's completely innocent, her testimony shouldn't matter. He should welcome her talking. He should want her to go on record saying he did nothing wrong. But instead, he exploded. And that explosion tells you that Maxwell just hit a nerve. She just trapped him in a way nobody saw coming. Let's break down exactly what Maxwell did and why it's so devastating for Trump. She appeared before Congress knowing she had leverage. She's been sitting in prison for years, watching the Epstein scandal slowly destroy Trump's presidency. She's seen Congress demand answers about Mar-a-Lago. She's watched the DOJ redact documents. She's watched Trump's approval rating plummet to 38%. She's watched impeachment threats grow, and she realized something crucial. She has something Trump desperately wants. She can be the credible witness who says he was never involved. She can be the person who makes all this go away. She can testify under oath that she never saw Trump do anything inappropriate with Epstein. But she's not offering that testimony out of the goodness of her heart. She's offering it as a business transaction. Your freedom for mine. The timing is absolutely perfect for maximum damage. Congress is already investigating Mar-a-Lago. The DOJ is already sitting on redacted documents. The Epstein files are already causing political chaos. And now Maxwell drops this ultimatum right in the middle of it all. Democrats immediately recognized what was happening. Representative Stansbury stood up and said, "This is extortion. This is witness tampering. This is a pardon in exchange for testimony. This is exactly what the Constitution protects against. You cannot trade pardons for testimony. You cannot barter with the legal system." And they're right. If Trump even considers granting this pardon, it's obstruction of justice. It's abuse of power. It's exactly the kind of high crime that impeachment was designed to address. Now Trump has been maneuvered into an impossible situation. Let's look at his options because neither of them is good. Option 1, he grants Maxwell clemency. He pardons her. He sets her free. If he does that, Congress immediately investigates. They demand to know what deal was made. They ask what Maxwell offered in return. They point to the timing and context and say this is clearly a quid pro quo. Trump looks like he's buying silence. He looks like he's admitting there's something to hide. He looks corrupt. He looks guilty. Democrats immediately move to impeach. Option 2, he refuses to pardon her. He says no deal. But then Maxwell has no reason to protect him. She can flip. She can cooperate with Congress. She can testify about everything she knows. She can tell them what happened at Mar-a-Lago. She can describe what she witnessed. She can provide details that contradict everything Trump has claimed. She could destroy him. It's a trap either way. And Trump knows it. That's why he's so furious. That's why he's ranting on social media. That's why he called her evil and disloyal. Because she just took control away from him. She just put herself in the driver's seat. The Mar-a-Lago connection is central to all of this. Maxwell's lawyer is claiming she never recruited anyone from Trump's resort. But the files suggest otherwise. The evidence shows that recruitment did happen at Mar-a-Lago. Victims were found there. Women were targeted there. Maxwell was involved in identifying potential victims at Trump's property. So if she testifies, she's going to have to address that. She's going to have to explain what happened at Mar-a-Lago. She's going to have to say whether Trump knew, whether he was involved, whether he saw anything. And depending on which way she goes, she could either exonerate him or incriminate him completely. The Melania angle also shows how deep these connections ran. Court filings revealed that Melania had email communications with Maxwell. She was calling her G. She was in contact with her during the Epstein probe. That doesn't prove anything criminal, but it shows that Maxwell had access to Trump's inner circle. She had relationships with his family. She was part of his world. And if she was part of that world, she saw things. She knows things. She has information that could be devastating. Now here's the really twisted part. Even if Trump takes the deal and pardons Maxwell, her testimony is essentially worthless. Because once she's offered to trade her testimony for a pardon, her credibility is completely destroyed. Everyone will know she's saying whatever she needs to say to stay free. Congress won't trust her. The American people won't trust her. The media won't trust her. Her testimony becomes contaminated, tainted, useless. So Trump would be sacrificing his integrity, committing obstruction of justice, and setting himself up for impeachment, all for testimony that nobody would believe anyway. That's how badly Maxwell has trapped him. The DOJ's role in all of this makes it even worse. Pam Bondi's team has redacted 86 pages of a memo about Trump and Epstein. They've withheld thousands of pages of documents. They've hidden the information that would show whether Maxwell is telling the truth or lying. The evidence is being suppressed. The truth is being buried. And Maxwell is offering to fill in those gaps. She's offering to tell Congress what's in those redacted pages. She's offering to explain what really happened. But only if she gets her freedom first. This is accelerating the impeachment process dramatically. Congress was already investigating Trump's conduct regarding Epstein. They were already looking at obstruction of justice. They were already building a case. Now Maxwell's gambit adds another dimension. It shows that Trump might be willing to use his pardon power to suppress evidence. It shows he might be willing to break the law to protect himself. It shows he doesn't respect the rule of law. That's exactly what impeachment is supposed to address. Abuse of power, high crimes, obstruction of justice, conduct that disqualifies someone from holding office. The midterms are going to be completely dominated by this story. Democrats are going to run on it. They're going to say, vote for us to remove Trump from office. Vote for us to restore the rule of law. Vote for us to make sure no president is above the law. And that message is going to resonate because most Americans understand that what Maxwell is trying to do is wrong. Most Americans understand that Trump shouldn't be able to pardon his way out of accountability. Most Americans understand that this is corruption. Trump's approval rating is already at 38%. That's devastating territory for any president. And now this story is going to dominate the news cycle for weeks. Every day there will be new questions about whether Trump is going to pardon Maxwell. Every day there will be new speculation about what deal might be in the works. Every day there will be new pressure from Congress. And Trump's response on Truth Social just confirmed that he understands the severity of this situation. He called Maxwell evil. He talked about betrayal. He talked about disloyalty. He said she was trying to manipulate him. But here's the thing. If he's innocent, why does he care what she says? If he did nothing wrong, her testimony shouldn't matter. He should welcome her talking. He should want her to go on record. But he doesn't. Because he knows she has information that could hurt him. He knows she was there. He knows what she saw. And he's terrified of what she might say if she doesn't get what she wants. That's the real story here. Not Maxwell's offer, but Trump's reaction to it. His rage is a confession. His fury is an admission. His panic proves that she has leverage because she knows something damaging. Think about the power dynamic here. Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in a prison cell. She's convicted. She's serving a massive sentence. She has no power, no influence, no connections. By any normal measure, she's completely powerless. And yet she just bent the President of the United States to her will. She just forced him into an impossible corner. She just made him rage and panic on social media. She just demonstrated that she controls the narrative now. That's how much power she has, because she knows the truth. And the truth is the one thing Trump can't control. What happens next? Congress is going to investigate Maxwell's offer directly. They're going to ask her, did you offer to testify in exchange for a pardon? They're going to ask Trump, did Maxwell offer to testify in exchange for a pardon? They're going to ask the DOJ, are you aware of this offer? They're going to build a case. They're going to gather evidence. They're going to prepare for impeachment. And if Trump even considers granting that pardon, Congress will view it as obstruction. Democrats will push for impeachment immediately. They'll say, Trump just attempted to suppress evidence. Trump just tried to buy testimony. He needs to be removed from office. The case will be overwhelming because Maxwell herself provided the evidence. She made the offer in front of Congress. She created a paper trail. She proved she was trying to trade testimony for a pardon. Trump is trapped. He can't pardon Maxwell without looking incredibly guilty. He can't refuse to pardon her without worrying about what she might say. He can't ignore the offer because Congress is already aware of it. He can't make this go away. He can't control the narrative. And his angry response on Truth Social just confirmed that he understands the trap. He understands that Maxwell has leverage. He understands that she's turned the tables on him. He understands that she's made his life infinitely more difficult. That's why he's so furious. That's why he's lashing out. That's why he called her evil. Because she just proved she's smarter than him. She just proved she understands power better than him. She just proved she can manipulate him. And Trump hates that more than anything. He can't stand the idea that someone else has control over him. And Maxwell just took that control. She just put Trump in a position where she's calling the shots. She just became the most important person in his political life. This is going to be the story that defines the next phase of Trump's presidency. This is going to be what Congress focuses on. This is going to be what the impeachment debate centers around. This is going to be what Americans vote on in the midterms. Ghislaine Maxwell's clemency ultimatum just became the most important political story in the country. And Trump's response showed that he understands exactly how serious it is. He's trapped, she's winning, and there's nothing he can do about it. Stay tuned because this is about to get absolutely explosive.